Good morning, St. Cloud. I am Sasha Love Higgins, and I am really excited today. I am here at CFR, the Central Florida Animal Reserve, with the amazing Dr. Wiltz. Stay tuned for a great time, guys. Dr. Simba Wiltz, such a pleasure to have you, or have us here with you, and thank you for the opportunity. This place is absolutely phenomenal. If you haven't been, you have to be here. Talk about it, Dr. Wiltz. It's amazing.
Well, thank you very much. This has been a terrifically long journey, one which is full of fun twists and turns, but importantly, one that's not entirely done. This year, our organization will have been in existence for 25 years. And in that time, we've stewarded over 120 big cats throughout their lives. We currently still have over 20 big cats that are here. And our primary mission is to create a platform that will address the challenges for big cats in the future, but also, of course, provide value to society today.
I love that. I love that so much. And so you have been doing this for quite some time yourself, correct? And I was joking. I said, 1994, were you 5 years old?
No, but you know, for any kids that are out there looking at this thing, that is when this really starts, right? Wow. When people start to find their passions. Yeah. Of course, since you can't have dinosaurs, you got to pick some other species, and big cats ended up being one.
Oh my gosh, when did you fall in love?
Well, you know, something interesting happened towards the early part of the 90s. There was actually a canine distemper outbreak that took place in Kenya. Killed about a third of the lions there, and it was thought to be potentially an extinction event. Now, the problem, of course, being why are lions getting canine distemper, and that's kind of what led me down the question of trying to figure out what was happening there. That, of course, led to a whole bunch of research. Research led to ultimately a love of science and a career that spanned into pharmacy. And pharmacy then brought me back into the world of big cats. And as I've told people, it's a little bit like golf. It's easy to potentially come and find someplace, but it is extremely difficult to master.
Yeah, for sure. And so now you are a doctor of pharmacy, correct? And then you also have a piece that's quite interesting. Similar to the Rhodes Scholar, it's the Moorhead Scholar. And so that was a part of your portfolio as well, which is very, very unique and not something that a lot of people can ascertain. Is that correct?
True. You know, when it comes to Florida, that's not something that would be heard of very often here. I graduated from the University of North Carolina in Chapel Hill, and this particular scholarship is designed to attract people of a very specific kind of caliber. And the competition is pretty fierce. In my year, I know that we had competitors from Canada, the US, and all throughout North and South America, and then the UK, and only 60 are chosen out of those several 100,000 that end up applying. So
impressive.
Very fortunate to have had that opportunity, because it did give me the chance for that travel study, which was my springboard into the world of big cats, having the chance to do research anywhere in the world or the country that I wanted to, funded by that scholarship.
Wow. So how many cats have you handled at once? What's like the most? What's the number?
Depends on what you mean by handled, and it also depends on what you mean by cats. We have had a lot of cats that we've gone through in the course of our lives here. And you know, at one point, our organization was managing over 60 big cats. And so we have had a lot of experience with large populations. When they're little, oftentimes you'll end up having more than one that might be there, you know, three or four that, yes, can be extraordinarily cute, but it is definitely a platform for getting them ready for the rest of their lives, just like human children would be.
Training them, everything,
all of that involved, and socializing them to what it is that we're trying to provide for them.
Right.
But generally speaking, you know, you try to keep it to a minimum as best you can.
For sure. So let's talk about the Central Florida Animal Reserve, CFR. And, you know, for our audience, maybe a lot of them might not even know that this little beautiful, amazing, wonderful gem is tucked here in St. Cloud. So we are quite honored to have the opportunity to be able to have such a phenomenal, you know, facility here in St. Cloud. So let's talk about that. Like, how did you even get started? How did that even come here?
Well, the origins of the organization go back to 1996, as we said. Started with a guy in a garage with 2 cougars and a tiger.
Oh my gosh.
That guy was not me. I don't come into the picture until much later. But very quickly became a 501c3. And in the late 90s, the story was very much about people who had cats as pets who were trying to find other homes for them once they realized it wasn't such a great idea. And so we spent some time first in Palm Bay, then eventually moved into Brevard County. Once we moved into Brevard County, we really changed our focus to really focus on the cats and creating this platform that we talked about earlier, which resulted in a massive capital campaign and ended with some success. It's remarkable to say that an organization with no paid staff raised $1.3 million in 4 years.
Are you kidding?
Built
That's
this
amazing.
entire facility here,
Wow.
and then moved, at the time, 25 big cats, almost 60 miles to install them here. So a real passion project.
Oh my gosh. Now let's talk a little bit about how your doctorate in pharmacy, ties in and integrates well with your specialty in your area. You are the CEO of CFER, and so how do the two marry?
Well, it took a long time for me to find an answer to that, but it comes down to service. When I am working as a pharmacist, my patients are my entire world. When I'm working with the cats, they are also my entire world. Wow. And so we have to do a lot of very creative problem solving. And just like in pharmacy, this is solving problems people or cats didn't know they had in ways that they may not understand.
So you're telling me that you're doing like pharmaceutical stuff outside of your zoological space. So it's not like zoological pharmaceutical stuff. You're dealing with human beings in the pharmacy space, as well as running CFER as a CEO.
So yes,
Wow,
and
that's
so any place there's a drug, there can be a pharmacist. And as these cats age and they have certain maladies, knowing when not to give drugs is just as important as knowing when to.
Wow.
And so lots of very highly specialized material that goes into that are stories in and of themselves.
Oh my gosh, it's so amazing. Wow. So you have a really great fundraiser coming up, right?
We do, yes.
So tell me about that.
So we are really excited to put on Cattails and Cocktails. This is going to be at the Marina that's above Krabby Bill's. And
My favorite place.
we're going to be doing that on June 5th. It is from 5 to 7, and it will be a great opportunity to see silent auction. We're going to have some live painting done. And then, of course, we'll be giving a presentation to tell lots of stories about the cats. And hopefully we see members of the community, the business community. We really want to start stepping out and getting people involved, because this place is going to be only as good as the people who support them. And we've met a lot of great people in St. Cloud who we want to give the opportunity to help us.
Well, we're going to do just that. We'll be back in a few minutes, and we're going to enjoy and get to see all that CFER has to offer. So stay with us, guys. We'll be back soon with Dr. Wiltz. Talk to you soon again. And we're back, and I actually have a few special treats, guys. So John, my co-host, couldn't make it here today. This is his self-care Sunday, but I have a wonderful replacement. So this is my special co-host and also the host of my life permanently. This is my husband, Joe. So Joe's joining us with Dr. Simba, and we're gonna hang out and talk about CFER, guys.
Sure. Yes, outstanding. So welcome everybody. So we're going to go on a very short tour here to give you a chance to meet some of the cats, learn a little bit about what we do, and hopefully open up some interest for some future questions and whatnot. So if everybody's ready, let's just go ahead and get started.
Yum.
Right, so the first cat that we want to introduce everybody to is having a chance to meet Ralph.
My friend Ralph, I'm so excited.
Ralph is our youngest tiger here. He's going to make 5 this year, which really places him at just starting to stretch out and have his life as he wants to have it. We've jokingly called him our tween because he simultaneously loves being scratched like a cub, but at the same time needs that respect of a full-grown tiger. Out in the wild, he would be off starting his own adventure.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
That's my respect.
And that's probably a good thing because, you know, Ralph already is over 470 pounds.
He's so cute. I'd love to pet him.
470 pounds.
470
But I'd probably,
pounds.
wouldn't be a great idea. So, sorry. Go
What is
ahead.
the weight of a full-grown tiger?
Depends on the species. So Siberian tigers are the largest of all the big cats. They're going to be about 500 to 600 pounds.
Oh my gosh.
And the Bengal tigers will get up to about 450 pounds as males. The thing is that tigers come in all different shapes and sizes. So you've got tigers that can be as small as just under 300 pounds, and then the biggest in the world were close to 700.
Wow. Wow. That's amazing.
Really big.
So tell the folks a little bit about your age range here, from baby all the way to like your oldest. What are we seeing
Well,
today?
so for Ralph being our youngest, he is about 5 years old, and our oldest resident is 21. And that's really impressive. That's about being 112 years.
Oh, wow. Oh, nice. Awesome.
So Ralph is an interesting cat because of his background and his story, but I think that's going to be a fascinating story to tell people when they actually get a chance to come here.
For
and they
sure.
can learn about the reasons why Ralph's story is so important to big cats in general.
Oh, wow. He's beautiful. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. You
What
ready
a treat. Hi, Ralph.
You ready to meet some more cats?
Ready to meet some more cats?
All right, let's go on and find some others.
All righty. Wow, what do we have here, Dr. Simba?
Well, this is Midnight, and Midnight is actually a melanistic leopard.
Oh, wow.
And so a lot of people look at a cat like Midnight and think they're seeing a Black Panther.
100%. I would have said a Black
There's
Panther.
actually no such cat as a Black Panther.
What?
And the way you can actually tell is that she's still got her spots. So if you look at her coat, you can see she's got black spots on black
I see
fur.
that. Yeah.
And that is the hallmark
Beautiful.
of the leopard.
Wow.
And so Midnight is one of our newer residents. She's been with us for about a year. But leopards are very different than the other cat because they are not inherently social animals.
Oh, wow.
They usually will spend time by themselves. And if they pick a person, then that person may be only one or two.
Oh, wow. So she spends the majority of her time alone.
Alone, or she might come up to people that she likes. She has graced us with her presence. Thank you, Miss Midnight.
Yeah, she seems like she's a fan of you.
She's doing quite well, and I always love to see when the cats feel comfortable and socialized. It's really important for all the work we do.
So it's not always like this.
It is not always like this. And she can become quite vocal if there is something that she doesn't like. So that is part of the effort of making sure that we are making the cats as comfortable as possible.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. The look I'm getting, but she's so cute. Oh, I'm a fan. All right.
Outstanding. So Midnight is actually not our oldest leopard. We might meet her a little bit later, but she is making 16
Oh my gosh. Oh, she's getting up there.
and doing great in terms of being in shape for 16.
And so that's the exact same thing as like normal cat age, correct?
Roughly, yes.
So in human years, she's
In human years, she's getting close to her 60s, 70s.
she's looking good, girl.
She's doing quite well, yes.
Okay, I guess black don't crack.
She's
It's a
got
joke,
the-
guys.
but she's certainly got plenty of spots.
For sure.
And yes, I know I called you out. I'm sorry. But we've got a number of other cats we want to meet too. So
All right.
we're going to let Midnight chill out here.
Well, let's go. I'm
Yes.
excited.
All right, and so I want to introduce you to a very special guest here. This is Kolakisia. This past May 20th, she turned 20 years old, which is an impressive feat for a lioness. You know, out in the wild, a really, really old lion would only be about 12.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
That's because they live such rough lives.
Yeah,
They, of all the cats, are
Right.
not the top creatures that are out there on the savannah. They may be some of the biggest predators, but they've got to contend with packs of hyenas and wild dogs.
yeah.
They've got to deal with prey animals that can kill them just as much as they can kill the prey animal.
Right.
But they are hardwired to form the family units. That pride is the core.
And math's not my thing. So in human years, she is how old, Dr.
She's
Simba?
just over 100 years old.
Oh my gosh, guys. She's over 100 years old. She's absolutely gorgeous. It's amazing. You guys are missing out. If you haven't been to Seafar, you had to get out here ASAP. This place is phenomenal.
Yeah, and she has been one of our smartest residents too. And so all of the cats are in class, actually. They learn various husbandry skills, which are very important for assessing their mental status and also their willingness to engage with us. And so she's got the most number of behaviors of any of the cats.
Wow.
And started learning. She enrolled late. She was already 17, I believe, when she first started doing her training.
Oh my goodness.
But has picked it up very quickly.
Where'd you guys get her from?
Kola actually started out in a petting zoo in Nevada, way back in 2001, when things like that were a lot more common. And unfortunately, she was in a circumstance where she was one cub too many. And the sad thing about that kind of business model is often that if the cub can't find a home, then it finds a grave. And so we were in a
gosh, so
position to
sad.
be able to assist. She has been with us for basically the duration of her life.
Amazing. Wow. Thank you guys for what you do. I mean, you really, you guys are such a huge help to these kind of species that are, I'm sure, probably as we know it, are they becoming more, extinct? Are there less of them? I mean,
Very much less of them. And we're also facing a quiet extinction even within our own country.
Wow.
You know, between 2004 and 2014, we lost half of the domestic population of big cats. And there's a lot of talk today about big cats and whether they need to be in captivity or not. But it all comes down to that conservation argument. And this is something important to make sure we recognize, that these guys belong in their native lands. They belong in the wild. But there is no war we can fight, no law we can write, nothing that we can do that will change cultures in places that see them as nothing more than pests.
Wow.
And so that really means that our populations are a hedge bet that says that if they don't get their act together, we will still have these species around us in the future.
Wow. Tell the folks out here what they can do to help, Dr. Simba.
Well, one of the biggest ways that you can help us is to get involved. Go to our website. It's cflar.org, and follow us on our various social media platforms. There are lots of different things that come up throughout the course of the year, opportunities to support. And of course, we want people to come out and visit, because it's one thing to talk about it, it's a whole other thing to actually
see
be
it.
here.
Right, Joe?
I mean, I'm a believer. Like, I've just seen these things on YouTube, you know, typical stuff we see, but to actually see it in person, I'm a bit spooked, but it goes to the great care that you guys have. You said you have her, she's 20 years old now?
20 years old
So
now.
that's really a great testament to the care that you guys get. You know, that's pretty awesome. It says a lot.
Yeah, good days and bad days for all of us. But as long as we're doing it in service for them, then we're doing the right thing.
Absolutely.
All right.
Wow.
We're ready to go on?
Let's go
Let's
on.
do it.
All right.
I'm excited.
So the last species I want to introduce you to is actually our big cat. This is a cougar.
Wow.
And so the
Rare.
Florida panther, of course, is a type of cougar. Now Koya here is not a Florida panther, but they share a lot of similar traits. It is going to be a tawny cat of all one color, and they are also the largest of the big cats that can actually purr.
Wow.
That used to be the
What
dividing
does
line.
it sound like?
It sounds just like a house cat's purr, except amped up by turned up to 11.
I think that's my favorite noise. Like, if I'm going to do an animal noise, it's always the row or the
Well, what's interesting is that the purr is actually a whole part of how their throats are built. It's
Really?
a rattling noise because they have a bone here that they rattle as they breathe back and forth, and that's what produces that purring sound.
Oh, how sultry.
But that is also the dividing line between your big cats and what used to be considered your lesser cats. Because if they can purr, they cannot roar. And if they can roar, they cannot purr.
So, but she is still a big cat?
She is big by size, and most people would consider her a part of the big cat species.
Yeah, but not necessarily.
But she's not actually part of that Panthera species that would be
Yeah.
considered the true great cats.
Oh, wow.
And Koya is actually over here for a very special purpose because when cougars go into heat, they do scream as opposed to roar out to call for a mate. And so because we are here at the beautiful Alan Broussard Conservancy, we know that this is a corridor for Florida panthers. And so we've set up a number of camera traps in places to see if we can capture pictures of Florida panthers moving by. And we're hoping that Koya, when she's calling out looking for love, might actually attract one of these fellas over.
Yeah. Have you captured any? Well,
Caught any pictures
Yeah,
yet?
yeah.
We have not, although we have found a lot of wayward and very confused hikers.
Now, so if indeed a panther ended up, or a cougar ended up on the property, or a Florida panther. Now, so would you guys take them in? I mean, how does that work?
Oh no, so Florida panthers are highly endangered, and
Okay.
to do anything with them would definitely be something that we would not approach. That being said, being able to see a Florida panther, that is a gift because they truly are ghost cats. If they don't want to be seen, they will not be seen.
Wow.
And so if you do see a Florida panther, count yourself lucky. Call FWC, let them know that you saw them because we are trying to track the panther numbers and we do want to make sure that that we've got their habitats right so we can protect it.
Got it. So who breeds, big cats?
That's a really difficult question. And the reason is because it's become such a big hot button issue. And it goes back to that question of who is going to be able to have cats for the future. We, in our mission, have found that there are enough cats in need that we have not gone to a breeding stance. However, as we said before, we're in it for the species.
Yeah.
So if it came down to the complete loss of a species or assisting in a well-managed propagation program,
be
we would
into it.
actually be able to help
Yeah.
and have a lot of experience being able to do so.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Dr. Simba, this has been nothing short of a pleasure. Thank you so much for the opportunity. We have had a phenomenal time. And it's been amazing. So thank you so much. Any last things you want to share with the folks out here?
Well, this summer, we're going to be making our fourth year in Osceola County, and we still have not seen a lot of Osceola County residents come over and by. So I really want to use this as a springboard to reach out to Osceola County and say, hey, come see us, come get involved. These are your big cats. These are your local big cats, and your support is incredibly important. So please come by and visit.
Absolutely. We'll see you again, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. And come on out to Seafer. This place is phenomenal. See you soon.